So today couldn't have been a better day really to get this Black Clover chapter come out, because one, for the fact is that I got the anime part 1, which I was quite shocked to find out that for like 10 episodes these Blu-rays are actually pretty big on there. And also as well, it was like, oh hey, volume 12 arrived right at my front door as well, alongside with like I think it was like Made in Abyss volume 3 and like Grand Blue as well. I was like, sure, it just had, there was like a little silver lining, I guess. It was like, hey, like the Panda, like fucking Black Clover's out today, maybe we'll give you some Black Clover goodies as well, just to remind you of that fact. But I go back especially to with the manga and especially the anime, because there's a character that appears in the first episode of the anime, and of course in the first chapter as well, that came back in this one. I'm like, why would they ever bring him back? Like, what was the absolute point? And then, lo and behold, they bring one of the characters like we weren't expecting to be here, and I'm like, okay, because there's 3 parts of this chapter. There's like definitely the part with Yami and finishing off with the Charlotte fight. There is like my favorite part, like setting up for the next chapter, which is the Crimson Lion part, which I was like, give me more of that please, because I want that. And then we get the Goldray stuff, which, yeah, there's going to be some interesting stuff to talk about that, because the former Purple Orca captain is back, and he's still sleazing his way around like a piece of shit. I'm like, oh my god, this fucking fat Mairi looking piece of shit. And I'm like, let's just go and talk about this chapter, because definitely we've got to talk about Revchi and a bunch of the other stuff. So we get to see what kind of happened to the aftermath of the Charlotte and Yami battle. It turns out like he was pretty much submerged under a lot of rubble. She kind of respected like Yami, even like for being a human. Or it's like, I need to kind of meet back up with like Leet and like all the others. Like she kind of realized as well that she was draining her magic a little bit, and Soul kind of came back to look for Yami, and Yami kind of like casually just knocking himself out of the rubble like that. He's like, we weren't finished yet, bitch, get back here. And it's like, no, we need to kind of go and help like all the other people as well and try and like save them. Let's try and do that, which their part is kind of done for most. I was like, let's like end it off on a draw for the most part. It's like there was a inconclusive battle, but it was like, I want to see a little bit more of them going at each other on there. But I really did like those chapters that we had of Charlotte and Yami. I definitely think that whether or not it was concluded now, I think they're kind of showing like maybe we want to have a little bit more with Charlotte, and it's not too, it's still that hard to like kind of break her, whether or not, like, because that was the thing where I mentioned as well, where I was like, oh, that was really disappointing that Luck just transformed into an elf and it was going out. I think like still like Luck's transformation could have lasted a little bit longer for the most part, but that was definitely with the Yami part was like the very most shortest part, where it was like, oh shit, we've lost Charlotte, now we need to kind of go and pick up the speed and take care of the other civilians as well. Then we get to the prison section, where because of the whole rabble happening outside, this gave a good chance for Goldray to actually get out of here. Who was like, oh, it seems like a perfect time and all that. And he's like, he's feeling like all this tremendous power like blasting on through. And one thing that he noticed was when he was going in there, he saw like kind of the bodies of the one guy that was captured there alongside with the witch lady, and he's like, you know, he's like, what the hell? Is like, what, to break over like the magic ceiling prisons like in this sort of caliber, it's like, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity to even bust out of there, so I need to go and take that out. So we it kind of showed as well that like, hey, we're kind of done with like Catherine and that other guy as well, that their bodies are just completely just wrecked and all that, and I don't think they're really going to be coming back for the most part. But who comes back? Revchi, as he comes back, and if I remember, they did describe him as being a Purple Orca person, like somewhere, like I believe in one of the guidebooks, or even it was like a thrown off bit in the manga, if I remember correctly. I can't. It's been a while since those like anime episodes, so I can't really remember, because like, I haven't really rewatched those episodes for the most part, like on there, apart from a couple of the early dub episodes. But every now and then I'll try and catch some of them for the most part. But I will say, it's like, oh, it's this guy, and you realize he's got a huge vendetta with Goldray because of the fact that it was because of 2 years ago he messed his face up, and he's like, I got into a little mess while I was on that duty, and it was pretty much all your fault because you were the ringleader in the first place. And he's like, you know, just don't worry about it. You reap what you sow, and you were hated by the other members too, you know. In reality, you had no allies. Like, stop pretending that, you know, or blaming this all on me. And he's just like, well, you were like that too, weren't you? Like the captain of the Purple Orcas all thrown down here, and he's just like, I made sure that the top one priority was myself. Like, I aimed for the top, and I was taken out by my inferiors. It had nothing to do with your miserable self. And the two kind of have a little agreement where it's like when they're screaming at each other, it's like, I'm the best, but bastards like that annoying anti-magic brat have got to go. And they're like, oh, as they're at each other's throats, and it's like, huh? So you done him by him as well, huh? And then an elf appears who goes in there. Goldrake, first thing, he's like, wait, I can help you. I can literally help you guys in your, like, order. I don't care for these guys. Like, let's take me to your leader. We can work this out. I'm like, this slimy piece of shit is already trying to make fucking deals with these elves. He's like, I don't give a shit. me, myself, and I are the three most important people, and they all happen to be me. So let's take ourselves to our leader. And I was like, oh my god, Goldrake, please, can we not? But this involves where it's like, the elf was like, huh? And then he was like, no, let's just take care of them. Let's just wipe him out. This involves with like Rebchi and Goldrake putting a bit of an alliance up where they just, alright, let's turn invisible, use this chance to kind of like go on there, which one thing that we know about Goldrake is that he can actually use his magic for other people now. We know that he can actually make Rebchi invisible, which I was like, that's like definitely for his type of magic is sneaky kind of shit. It's like, that's very useful, since we've had like the invisible soldiers and stuff before, and we've had like very weird, like we haven't seen too much of this magic. And then when we go down and deal with it, it's like, we know that the chain magic from Rebchi was able to drain these guys, and he was able to use it and kind of imprison them. So we got a very weird tag team right now. I was expecting Goldrake to come back at some point where he was going to either be at some use, but it was just showing a lot for this chapter where it's like there were so many people going about in this chapter where it's like we're focusing on Yami's part. We're focusing with him and his soul, and they're now going to a different battlefield right now. We're dealing with like the prison side. Like, we're even considering as well, like this is all happening before Aster and everyone like teleported with like the remnants of the Midnight Sun going around, where we've got those people going around. And then, like, where we get the next part is we get to see the Crimson Lions, which are the people we haven't seen in a while, where it's like, okay, what's happened? We've, like, ever since, like, Meridional, and it's like, what is going on? And one of their it seems like the vice captain of their group has seemingly kind of, like, turned into an elf as well. And he's like, it's weird, he's doing, like, this kung fu pose, and he's like, yo, I'm gonna take you down. He's like, I think it's called Nate Randall, or, like, Rundell, and it was like, oh, but his power's in a different league, but, like, who appears? That young plucky character that I really like. I really do like this little shit, and it's Leo. And Leo, I think, was like one of the first few characters that, in the Black Clover manga, if I remember, or at least especially he stands out a lot in the anime as well. But definitely when it was like, look at all these brand new character introductions, and he obviously had quite a bit of screen time during that. I was like, yeah, let's give like some stuff to Leo, because I was liking him at that point. I was like, yeah, give him more. And then he hasn't been around for a while, and I'm like, yeah, show me this guy again. Like, I want to see what he's learned since the last time. Give me a little bit more parts of Leo. I mean, obviously, with the Quartet Night game is that we've had quite a lot of characters already revealed for that. Obviously, Leo didn't make the cut, neither did like a lot of none of the captains got into that game as well. Like, the only captain that got in was Yami, and that was because Yami's the most popular character. So I would like to see what he's done. Will this finally lead us to Fagolion? Because he's been missing for a while. Like, he's been gone since then. So will this how much he's praising him and everything? It's like, I absolutely can't lose here, and seeing exactly what the Crimson Lions are going to be doing at this point. So this, like, probably comparing it to last chapter. Last chapter was really good, like the last two chapters with the Shard stuff. This one was more just setting stuff up. So overall, I was fine with it. It was so confusing when I was looking at the Goldrake part. I was like, what the fuck? What, like, why is him and like the dude from the first chapter coming back? I mean, Goldrake, I didn't like at some point. I was like, he's gonna come back at some point, but it's like, fuck Goldrake, like fuck both of these guys like on there, because like I never cared that like either of them is like this piece of shit Mario looking dude, and just like honestly, it wasn't even until this chapter I completely forgot about that dude's man. I don't even remember his name. I didn't remember anything about him. It was just like, sure, you do chain magic. I didn't even check. I'm like, sure, I believe that you do chain magic. I'm pretty sure, like, because it was like, I think if I remember correctly, he grabs him by the chains and mocks him because he ain't got no magic, and that leads into that whole shit. So overall, like, fuck it, whatever. If they're gonna have some weird stuff, there's gonna be a weird little interaction with Asta and him, I imagine, at some point, where it's like, why are you here? Like, and he's gonna see the clear difference from like early Asta to like current, so it's like, yeah, don't even try that. So yeah, showcasing a lot of like different factions and a lot of their different weird alliances going on right now, like where we got Yami and Soul teaming up, and we've got like this piece of shit and like Goldoray like teaming up. Like, what the hell? And like, what, in the most weirdest is Asta's teaming up with like the remnants of like Sally and all them. So weird chapter, I'd say. Definitely a weird chapter. So I want to know what you guys think in the comment section down below, what you thought about this chapter of Black Clover. But that's all for me. Thanks always for watching, and I'll see you guys though next time.